Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Parkscope Unprofessional Podcast Hour. Joining me tonight is Lane. Lane, how are you doing?
Spectacular. Belly full of calzone and Jameson. Ready to do some podcasting.
And Jameson. Good. Interesting combo. A calzone and Jameson.
Yeah. I went to the local pizza joint. Got a calzone tonight. Had a little after dinner Jameson to take me home.
I don't know. I haven't had calzones in forever. I just get pizza. I don't know.
Well, some places the calzones are better than the pizza because sometimes things are aided with, let's drown it in ricotta cheese and fry it a little more.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, I forget. I think it was at Purdue University. There's a place called Love Shack, L-U-V Shack, and they had calzones that you could order for like $5 or something late at night when you're drunk, and those are really good. And you get to dunk it in like ranch because it's the Midwest or whatever you want.
Because it's the Midwest, you gotta hardy it up.
Yeah, you gotta hardy it up. Because nothing says drinking around at a few rounds at Brothers and then going to Love Shack than Purdue University. So there you go.
Yeah, you just add Indiana. You're an engineer too smart for your own good.
Yep.
And
your football team's terrible.
Your football team's terrible, so you have to compensate with calzone and ranch.
Your football team's so bad that like I forget what it was, but like they were doing like excavation work, and then like all of a sudden the basketball arena, the one good thing, like was flooding and ruined their floor. So like the football team's so bad it just ruins other sports literally at Purdue. Oh,
listen, get a new coach. It's gonna be okay at Purdue. They need to go triple option.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Purdue, what are we gonna do with you? No idea. So Lane, let's start it off with some news, shall we?
Some positive news.
With some positive news, because what I had open was not the news I wanted to start with. This is the news I want to start with.
This is much better.
So we have some new information on the Jimmy Fallon Race Through New York starring Jimmy Fallon, or Race Through Jimmy Fallon starring New York, which I think would be better, but whatever. So they store saying spring 2017 for this attraction. So basically what they've kind of laid out was a awesome new exterior concept art for the attraction.
Like very City Walk lit up, correct?
Well, it looks just like the NBC store and studio center and the NBC building in New York City.
At 30 Rock, correct?
Yeah, exactly. It looks just like 30 Rock. I don't know if they're building anything else, but I mean, it looks really good. It looks better than that Twister facade for sure.
So 50 feet tall, it's going to look like 30 Rock.
Yeah, it looks real nice. So that's what's going to be outside. It's going to look much more professional, a lot cleaner, especially in an area to park that needs it. Also one thing that I don't know if it's in the concept art, but let me look really quick.
That's the part of that park that is still original, and everything else has been brought up to such a cool degree of a studios park. And that makes, like, this new facade's going to bring it up to, it's going to keep a Studios Park feel, but bring it up to the 2016, 2017 kind of facade.
Yeah. Let me see. Let me see if I can see it from here. Actually, you sort of can't. But over the restrooms, when I was at Halloween Horror Nights, I saw there was like a kind of awning there, and like it looked like an area where people could sit. So I was checking to see if they had that in there, but they don't. In the
restrooms got updated, correct?
Yeah, they're really nice now.
Awesome.
And there's going to be a seating area up on top of the restrooms for, or it looks like there's going to be a seating area on top of the restrooms for like people watching the concert and stuff. You know, VIP seating and stuff.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
This backs up. Twister / Fallon backs up right to the Show Bowl, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's going to be there. Let's see. So yeah, for the details on the actual attraction, sounds like there's going to be a inside. I don't know if this is inside the queue, because I'm trying to figure this out. Because there's 3 things they talked about. They talked about hanging out in Studio 6B. So what they have are a bunch of like characters and sketches from the actual Tonight Show. So they have the hashtag the panda, the beloved mascot, which I've never heard of in my life.
Yeah. No, he has a panda.
Okay, sure.
He just runs out. I think that's the extent of the Tonight Show Panda.
All I remember is the masturbating bear from the Late
Conan,
Show
right?
with Conan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, the Ragtime Gals Barbershop Quartet. Again, I really don't watch the Tonight Show, so.
So that's a recurring bit he does with kind of some of his buddies, writers, or whatever.
Okay.
And it's just balancing it. It's Dapper Dan's, but it's a ragtime quartet.
Nice.
It's a recurring bit about a ragtime quartet. So.
Okay, so it'll be like they're gonna have a show like around it, so that's good.
But that could be the pre-show.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what the pre-show is. We'll get into that in a second.
Okay.
Also in 6B, there will be an interactive desk where they can do their own thank you note card segment. And you can also do a Race with Jimmy Drive retro style video game. So I think
where's all this is. So this is like all the fun interactive pre/post queue stuff. Is this like just in the lobby of the?
Well, let's jump down really a little bit. Next, the bottom part says, explore the history of The Tonight Show. As they step foot inside the renowned NBC studios, guests will get an up-close look at significant moments of the 62-year history of one of America's most popular franchises, Tonight Show. In the Tonight Show lobby, guests get VIP access to NBC studios. They'll get a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to see real props and set pieces from one of the longest running shows on television, everything from actual suits of past and present host to the NBC video cameras used to record the show, cue cards used in past episodes. So I'm not sure what the cue is. It kind of sounds like the cue may be, I don't know.
So this could be Q, and this could be pre-show, and it could be pre-Q.
So what I'm guessing is that we've heard some rumors that the current, right now in Teardown Flyers, they're using a ride reservation system where you get a ticket and you come back.
Yeah, and like they'd always talked, or like Jim Hill always talked about with Rock and Roller Coaster, just making it, or the way they kind of wanted to do Dumbo at Disney World, like you just wait in a blob until it's your time and then you go.
Yeah. So what this
is queue.
Yeah. So what this is, they're talking about. It's what I'm guessing is you're gonna get your time to do the attraction, and then you wait in the interactive area for like 20 minutes, half an hour, or whatever. Do the meet and greets, all that stuff, and then there is a smaller, shorter line, and that's the VIP access that they talk about at the bottom of the page.
That's so the queue for the next scene/ride show.
Yeah, that's going to be like the queue for everyone to get together, and then they let you into like the main pre-show and then the main ride or something like that. So
this, like, you can say this is revolutionary, and then you remember, oh my goodness, they're just talking about Country Bear Jamboree.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's really nothing
Country Bears.
I mean, the problem I have with it is that getting something and not being able just to stand in line is just an additional thing that just drives people crazy because they're like, I want to stand in line and just wait for it. I don't want to think about it. You know, that's exactly the problem they had with Dumbo. Like, people would just line up, even though they're not supposed to line up.
Yeah.
They just do it. So, but on the other hand, I don't know. Maybe they're doing something different. Again, this is all rumors. We don't know exactly.
But it could also just be a straight up line, and here's a muddle huddle, basically, that you can come hang out in before the line starts.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, Horror Makeup has some cool stuff in their lobby, and that's basically before a show. And then if you want to get to more like the Fallon ride's going to be, that's what main ride at the studios, the Great Movie Ride, just has prop stuff, just lining the walls of the queue, and that's awesome. And you look at it, and it's fine.
Yeah. So
and that could be that. They could just be doing that, and it's fine.
Yeah. So I like the idea of the exterior and the queue, but the ride and the ride preview they showed just was extremely just not something I'm interested.
So you want to get into the ride?
Yeah. Do you want to talk about the ride a little bit?
Yeah, we'll look into it. So they're using what is getting put into following IAPA, following a lot of ride design companies. A ride that is getting put into a lot of different places, known as the Flying Theater.
My understanding is no, but
it's not a flying theater.
It's not like Soarin' or Avatar. That's what I've heard.
Oh, so what do what do you hear / think it's going to be if it's not a flying theater?
I think it's literally like when people think flying theater, they think, the erector set, it goes up or, kind of tilts.
Soaring.
So what I think they mean by flying theater is they literally mean that you're going to be like sitting in the Tonight Show theater. And then, remember like have you been to Busch Gardens Williamsburg?
Yep.
You know that like motion simulator they have that's like a front open and it's really massive?
Yeah, it's
like
flying over Europe.
Yeah, exactly. Like that. So you go from like being in the Tonight Show to being like flying through New York, but you're still in the theater.
So you're saying some BS Musion and then a shitty Minions ride?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I've just completely ruined your enthusiasm for this ride.
Yeah, I mean, you did, but that's okay. We still don't know.
Okay,
they
yes,
could
that's a
do
good point.
either in that space.
That's a
you
good
could
point.
try to make an imitation Tonight Show theater, and who's to say a Minions / Simpsons ride isn't going to be fun?
True.
Because
Anyway,
both of those rides are pretty fun.
True. So do you want to continue with the ride description and what you saw in the video and stuff?
It's going to be a Minions / Simpsons type ride. And our last argument is whether it flies you up in the air like Soarin' or the new Avatar Flight Over Pandora, or does it just rock you up and down like Minions or a little bit of The Simpsons?
Yeah.
Which we don't know.
Maybe.
We don't know. Moderate insiders don't know. Someone knows that is not us. I think Sorrell's in charge of this project.
And Terry Koo's doing a bunch of the stuff for it too.
Okay, so the transitions will probably be really good if Terry Koo's on it. But like we as the general public and we as theme park nerds don't know if it's going to be a flying theater or just a motion-based Captain EO theater.
Mm-hmm. So,
and I think that's where a lot of super fans are back and forth arguing about how fun this is going to be or how fun this is not going to be. And I think a big part of that is it going to lift you up in the air and do you get to fly around? Or do you just sit in your chair and it vibrates a little bit and it's the same gag we've gotten for 30 years?
Yeah. I mean, I think it'll be probably more Back to the Future than Minions or Shrek. But
Which the Simpsons ride's really fun and really funny. And if you could go in there and not motion sickness and just watch a 2-minute clip that's just funny of theme park jokes and, IP jokes, then that's a good bit.
Mm-hmm.
And if they basically take that stamp and go, well, we're across the lake, we're going to do the same darn thing, and do that with Fallon, it would still be funny. It'll still do its job of being a C ticket that fills up the crowds, or takes up the crowds, does better than Twister does, and it keeps IP. It keeps some synergy going. I've done the tour at 30 Rock where you get to go in Saturday Night Live and you get to go in the old Tonight Show theater and such, and it's a really fun time as a tourist, but it's also very, very synergistic. So I hope that this can recreate some of that fun without just feeling like the overbearing NBC Comcast is staring down my throat.
Mm-hmm. I think also Chicago's winning 5-1 now. Fuck. Damn it. Anyway,
Cubs are probably going to win the World Series at this point.
I don't want to talk about it right now. I'm not in a happy
pass
mood.
on it.
Anyway, so what I'm like, there's a few things that people brought up, and I think there's one thing I want to touch on real quick is like this whole entire idea of people like Disney fans kind of poo-pooing the idea. Like, I'm gonna be the first one. This doesn't sound very good. It's not something I'm really that interested in. But there's always been this kind of weird idea that there's the Disney way to do attractions, and that's the only way to do attractions. And I just think that's not correct at all.
That's a false statement because Disney has seat fillers too.
Well, not even that, but like how the attraction is designed, or it's just synergy, or it's too gag filled, or that kind of thing. Like it just assumes like, oh well, why does Jimmy Fallon need to be in it? It should just be a thing in New York City, and
that's an ignorant argument I won't even entertain.
Wow.
Because if you think one of the best theme park companies in the world is doing something or isn't doing something, or they're both trying to do the very best they can do to get the very best product they can, and that overlaps a lot more times than it doesn't.
Well, another thing is that I think Universal is very good at. They're not good at many things, but one of the good things they are good at is finding a market that is underrepresented or underutilized, and kind of goes for it, whether it be horror or Harry Potter kind of like level stuff,
or just fire in general,
or spraying water at you, or Transformers, or the Tonight Show, which is a huge television show.
Yeah, and people like the Tonight Show. Everybody's mom likes Tonight Show clips.
Yes, and everyone likes the YouTube clips.
Yeah, and that's, I think, of what's really going to sell this is, man, that was funny when he did that. Okay, we'll go ride that ride. And that's all this ride is. This ride isn't going to get people to book vacations. This ride isn't going to get people to buy a piece. It's just another solid thing in their lineup of fun studio attractions.
This is the Universal game plan. They get their guest surveys. They look to see what attractions are on the bottom. They get replacement attractions for those set attractions. They determine if those attractions are good investments. Then they make the investment. Which is to their benefit. They do that, but it's also a negative because then instead of sticking with something or refreshing it or making it more modern, they just get rid of it. Or
nostalgia pulling people in to do the same thing.
Exactly.
Because I don't think they're old enough to have nostalgia.
Oh, exactly. And I think, if they kept Jaws around and they put Diagon Alley somewhere different or, wherever that would be, people would have more nostalgia for Jaws over time. But yeah, they'll just get rid of something. They're, for better or for worse, they are way more prone to just get rid of something and put something new, which is both bad and good. So anyway, that's the Tonight Show. That's going to be opening in spring 2017. Hopefully we'll have more info on that. I don't know.
Oh, that's
early
spring 2017 is real soon then.
Yeah, spring. Well, remember, spring does go into June.
Oh, yeah.
So it could be...
Spring is before the 1st of July.
No, it's before, I thought the middle of July. No, the June 21st or something?
June.
Yeah, it'll probably be mid-June when they open it.
Yeah, they can pull that off.
Yeah, mid-June.
Do you think this is their big e-ticket for 2017?
Well, Volcano Bay.
No, that's not true because Volcano Bay is happening.
So,
okay.
Might as well... well, before we get into Volcano Bay, which I have at the bottom here, but we'll talk about it real quick here, is that I think that they're going to do another whole entire Jimmy Fallon Goes to Universal this coming summer.
They should do that every summer.
Well, yeah.
Fallon should do a week. Today Show should do a week every single summer at Universal Orlando.
Mm-hmm. So... No
questions asked. Do it. It's fun.
Yeah.
People like it. You still watch those shows. If you like those shows, you'll probably be inclined to go to this resort. That's a wonderful synergistic thing to do if you own a cable network and a television channel with shows people like and a entertainment resort.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I when I went last time to Jimmy Fallon to see him record back in 2014, that was a really fun time, and I had a blast, and it was really, really cool. I thought it was really different and really cool, and it was a unique experience. I'm not a huge fan of The Tonight Show, but it was cool to see the Roots play at least.
Yeah.
Oh, and the Roots are going to be doing the score of the attraction, which is a definite win. Definite plus. So let's get into Volcano Bay real quick. There's been a bunch of new construction going on. They're finishing up the volcano. We have the load area for the water coaster they've kind of shown. Did you see the tweet that Tom Williams put out of the pineapple upside down mini cakes they were testing for Volcano Bay?
No, I did not. Tell me all about it.
They look delicious. That's what they were.
Pineapple upside down cake is delicious. That's our hot take.
And they look like little mini ones, maybe about 3 or 4 inches in diameter.
That's perfect.
Yeah, so they're really cute little ones. They look delicious. So the food's gonna probably be really good.
I had my first, as an adult, my first Disney water park experience this summer, and it was just awesome. And they had those little silly donuts and stuff. Our Volcano Bay is going to be a hit out of the box, no questions asked. And if they're doing a good job at giving you a rum bar and giving you good snacks, that's just going to make it that much better.
Yeah, I'm excited for Volcano Bay next trip. Yeah, it's going to be really, really cool.
Yeah.
Also,
Volcano Bay is so cool. We're probably going to go down in the spring next year.
Yep.
Just to get in on that.
So Volcano Bay, actually, tonight they announced that they will be unveiling more information about Volcano Bay tomorrow at 10 a.m. So our next
That's
episode...
a secret attraction?
Yeah, probably they're going to... Well, they're saying they're talking about they're going to unveil more experiences or whatever. I forget the exact tweet.
Okay.
So I imagine they're going to dive a little bit more into the shops, restaurants, individual attractions, maybe.
They can do like the Diag and Drop and go, here is every restaurant.
Possibly.
Here are all the shops and their names.
Possibly. I could see them also talk about the water coaster. I could see them talk about the drop slides, the those the ones where they release you like a bomb from a B-2 bomber.
Yeah, those are super scary.
I don't want to do those.
Okay, so they're not like too scary to do. Mm-hmm. So I did the one on the Magic. They have one hanging off the side of the ship, and you can't see for a good 2 count. Mm-hmm. When you first go down it. Like, it's just a close your eyes, hold your breath. Mm-hmm. You can exhale in a second. Like, those are kind of scary and fun.
Cool.
So it's going to be a good time.
Yes, they'll probably cover those and some other
Is the
cool
water
things.
coaster the one they had sagged back to say, we will talk about this later?
Yep.
Okay.
That's the one that you can see that has like the giant...
You think it's going to be themed?
Oh, yeah. It has a massive load area.
You think Minions are coming, baby?
No, it's not going to be Minion
Minion,
related.
Dark Ride, water coaster.
No.
Until tomorrow at 10, that's what I'm going with.
No. So, that's Volcano Bay. I have something about ticketing for Volcano Bay going up maybe soon.
On the Parkscope.net?
Yeah, on the Parkscope.net, like covering some theories and stuff. So look out for that. I've heard some stuff about the water coaster that are cool, so hopefully they'll release some of that tomorrow. And that's it for Volcano Bay.
It looks really pretty lit up at night, and we are only at like an 1/8 speed of how pretty it's going to be lit up at night.
Yep. So
it's going to be a beacon like the Orlando Eye.
With fire.
A fire beacon.
Yes. So also, Universal has released some new buses. Have you seen these, Lane?
I did. That's why I'm saying it's a Minion water coaster.
Yeah, well, the buses are updated. They look like the Disney buses because they have higher ADA compliance, so they don't have to wait forever to load wheelchairs in. Also, these buses aren't just designed to go to Cabana Bay. They're also planned to go to all the other resorts. So all
the other parks and resorts.
All the other resorts. So the idea behind it is that people would get on the buses and they would go to Volcano Bay instead of having to walk through, and they would go to the the general drop-off area for Cabana Bay. They would do it. You'd then just go over to Volcano Bay from that area. Make sense?
Okay.
So instead of having to walk through City Walk and...
So if you parked in the main deck but wanted to go to Volcano Bay for the daytime, that's where you would park in the main deck, get your bag check, walk over to that spot.
No.
Get a shuttle and go to Volcano Bay?
No, so the shuttles are actually going to be, I believe, on the south parking garage side. They're actually doing excavation work for right now. That's going to be a tram that takes you over. What I'm saying is if you stay at like Sapphire Falls or something, you can take this bus over to the main area and they would drop you off and then you can go to the tram for Volcano Bay.
Okay.
Make sense? Or like
it
Royal
makes a little
Pacific
sense.
Or something like that.
I still have the biased opinion of always stay closest to the resorts you're going to and just walk or take cooler transportation.
Fair enough.
So I'll see how that argument plays into the new Universal in, we'll call it 2018, 2019. I bet it'll be the same for what we like to do, but it could entirely flop on its head.
Yep. But also this probably will play into other expansions of the resort, I imagine, because they're going to probably do a lot of crazy stuff with the parking decks and everything. So stay tuned for more information there. So another weird thing that happened recently, This happened on, I want to get the date. It's actually happened on October 23rd when we were supposed to do the episode last week, but whatever.
My internet was out.
So Artegon Mall may be up for sale. They're talking about selling this to a local sort of, not a local, but a domestic theme park company that doesn't have any international business. And two companies really stuck out for this. One being Herschend Family Entertainment Corporation, and the other being Cedar Fair. Herschend are the people who do Dollywood,
and Silver City, and Stone Mountain here in Atlanta, and they own the Globetrotters.
Yeah, that was a weird one. They own the.
So Mamby was the president of that company before he moved over to SeaWorld, and. Yep. So Herschend has some Atlanta offices. That's how I knew this. They own the Globetrotters right now.
That's bizarre.
It's bizarre, but it kind of makes sense with their rest of their portfolio. Mm-hmm. So they own like Stone Mountain in Atlanta.
And they also own Silver Dollar City.
Correct. Silver Dollar City is something they own outright. Dollywood's like a partnership. Stone Mountain something they own outright. The Globetrotters is something they own outright. Herschend is a American theme park / themed stuff company.
Mm-hmm. So what's interesting is that for both of those companies, this would be like the first new theme park built by them in a very, 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 very long time.
To ever.
Yeah, to ever.
Like in our lifetime. Like yeah, so they've just been acquiring stuff.
And another interesting thing is that it's reported that this is going to be a 178-acre project. With the movie theater, I believe, the Cinemark is sold separately. So what I imagine will be happening was the Cinemark will stay, and there's also a Bass Pro Shop, because of course there's a Bass Pro Shop. So someone did a really quick SketchUp, and they showed that you could fit Islands of Adventure, City Walk, and a parking garage into this this land area, which I think is a pretty good way to look at it. The size of this place.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But man, I just don't think any of those are. I guess Cedar Fair's fully traded. I don't know if Herschend is. Like, I just don't know if any of those companies need to expand into the Orlando market.
Yeah, I mean,
and Joe, do you know Parkscope's official stance on other companies expanding into the Orlando market? Do you remember this?
I don't. I know. What is
Parkscope's official stance is buy SeaWorld.
Oh yeah, good point.
If you're Cedar Fair, if you're Six Flags, if you're Herschend, if you're anybody, just buy SeaWorld and take your whatever % of the market it is, and then go up from there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's clearly the way to do it, and you can get rid of the animals. I mean, hey, Cedar Fair has a history of buying up SeaWorld properties and doing that.
Maybe in the Northern Ohio area, like things happen.
Yep. May it rest in peace.
Yeah, but Dominator's really good.
Yeah, you're welcome.
It's so good.
You're welcome. So yeah, Artegon's up for sale. We're really not sure. Some people are talking about like, hey, Universal should just buy this, and maybe they're like dangling this information out to drive up the price. Who knows right now?
They're trying to buy it. They wouldn't want the price to go up.
No, I'm saying is like Artegon would rumor it.
The seller.
Yeah, the seller would rumor it so the price would go up. Whereas so sorry, I'm just looking at something right now. It doesn't look like... Well, it doesn't really make much sense where it's located for Universal to buy it. It is way too far north of... And it's also right next to a residential area. So,
which they already have and they don't like.
Yeah, so I don't think Universal would buy it, but...
One of the gimmicks of that convention center area was like, it's kind of out of the way. You can have more way with height and fireworks and such.
Mm-hmm. So... That's the Artegon rumor, which is bizarre. It's just, I don't know right now. It's too early to tell, but things are definitely moving on I-4.
I feel like that market's already matured, though.
iDrive, you mean? Sorry.
Or Orlando,
I mean,
if you're not A or B, then I don't feel like you want to step in and get in on that.
Or
but I guess they built the eye and they built all that stuff next to it. So
something that friend of the site Jason Shuck brought up, which is a good point, is that Disney's priced themselves out of the local market pretty well. Besides some Uber fans, besides some Uber fans, most families cannot afford to go to Disney anymore unless they have someone who works there and can get them in for free.
Correct. Especially the hour away people.
Yeah, and
because there's just not
closer.
That much money to them.
Yeah, and one of the issues with that is you're seeing a lot fewer of those Mickey's Not So Scary or the holiday party sellouts, because that's when the locals used to go. They would buy tickets for that for $60.
You're saying there's less of those sellouts?
Yeah, actually, there was very few sellouts this year. Previous years, they were sold out constantly. Now they've raised the prices so much they only sold out a handful, if any.
Raised the prices and sold more tickets.
Yeah. So
for a few years, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what's going on there. Universal's raising their prices, not as crazy as Disney, but they've been raising them.
I mean, they're right on par. Their job is to say we're just as good as they are. Look at the price of our product.
Yeah, but the thing that Jason brought up was, hey, as a stand-in for Disney for the locals, another amusement park could do very well.
Which there used to be a water park as a stand-in for locals, and that got bought up.
Yeah, well, exactly, and now it's closing in December.
Now it's closing in December.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Wet and Wild.
So I mean, there could be a locals market for this that could also play into iDrive a little bit, but it's just weird. It's a weird location. Yeah, we just don't know right now. So, Lane, do you want to talk about your Disneyland trip, or do you want me to talk about my trip a little bit?
I'll go first. I'm pretty quick.
First.
They closed Paint the Night in between me booking this trip and me going to this trip. I'm going over, I guess.
Yeah.
I live in Atlanta. That's in California. I'm going over for Avengers races, which are going to be very fun. Very early, but very fun. They closed Paint the Night. I think Rivers of America are still closed.
Yes, sir.
Disneyland is still Disneyland, so all of the fun goodness that you like to do as a theme park fan / person that visits Disneyland every few years will still be there. Rivers of America is closed. Almost all of DCA is open in its current rendition, so nothing will be down there. We get a different World of Color than the summer.
Do you get the holiday one, or do you get the original?
I think I get the modified original.
Okay.
I think I get like World of Color 1.5. Or maybe 2.0, whichever one you want to call it.
Yeah.
That's what World of Color I get. I'll watch World of Color. I'm not sure Fantasmic's open.
Fantasmic's not open.
Okay. It's super not open. So like that, I'm going with a bunch of people I don't know or not that I don't know, that haven't been to Disneyland as much as we have. And they there's some stuff you want to show off, but all the good Disneyland staples will be there. You can still show some Castle and show some Fantasyland and show Matterhorn and show, this or that, and all the good fun DCA stuff that I like will be there and open. It's weird that the resort, as I walk into it, in fall of 2016 will be the same resort I walked into in summer of 2013 or January 2013. So Disneyland's cool. Everybody loves Disneyland. If you stay close, you can walk, and that makes your Disneyland experience that much better. It's got Trader Sam's, and Trader Sam's is the best.
The original.
Yeah, if I stay on site of Disneyland and don't go to Trader Sam's every night, it's a catastrophe. It's a sad, sad thing. So I'll be there every night in some fashion. So it stinks that Paint the Night came and went before I even could get out there. And then they are opening it up back for seasonal stuff, but the seasonal's later. I am excited. This will be my first time on Haunted Mansion Holiday.
Oh.
And as a Disney World East Coaster, that's going to be awesome.
Well, because you've never done it before.
I've never done it. It's gonna be cool. Because their Haunted Mansion, once you get down the elevator in the stretch room as a Haunted Mansion fan, It feels the same. Like it's not scaled down, but it's not as
Fleshed out.
complete as the Florida Haunted Mansion. And then I rode Phantom Manor in September, and that's just a whole different ridiculous experience. So the fact that I can go on a different kind of Haunted Mansion's cool. You know, you just go hang out and you eat. That's what you do at Disneyland, man. As much as Disneyland people like to say that's what they like to about Disney World, that's what I like to do at Disneyland. Like, you just go out there and you eat fried chicken and you eat your burritos and you drink a beer in Paradise Pier. It's just like, that's going to be the dream. And going to a few of the restaurants at Grand California is going to be fun.
Mm-hmm. You're going to Napa Rose, right?
You know, I don't think we are going to sit down for that amount of time and spend that amount of money on this trip. I don't have park tickets Sunday after the race, so we're going to do either Storytellers or Steakhouse 55 for kind of a big blowout brunch on Sunday, instead of using Friday evening park time to sit down for an hour and a half meal.
Okay.
So, I think we are going to go to Carthay.
Carthay.
Because I love some Carthay.
Carthay's delicious.
Carthay is good. Carthay around fireworks, when you can sit on the balcony and then they'll let you go out, look on the front of the balcony during fireworks, is as good of a Disney parks experience as anything you can get in Disney World. So, like, you do that when you get the chance, man. Like, you get to drink your Manhattan and watch fireworks, like, from a whole different park. You take that opportunity. So we'll be doing that. Like I said, we'll either do Storytellers or Steakhouse 55 for brunch. Definitely going to get Plaza Inn fried chicken. Definitely going to get Paradise Pier beers. And watch some fountains, ride the roller coaster. Like, that's Disneyland to me, and I'm excited for it.
Cool. And you're going pretty soon, yeah.
Yeah, week and a half.
Yeah, my parents are going down on Saturday to Disney World, so...
Oh, that'll be so much fun.
Yep. So, I want to talk real quick. Something I didn't talk about the last episode was...
Islands of Adventure?
Islands of Adventure, New Hulk and Kong. So, I did... this is the first time for both of those for me on this last trip. So, New Hulk I did like 3 times, I want to say.
Okay.
And then Kong I did 3 times also. For Hulk, the attraction is still a little bumpy. The first thing to say is it's still a little bumpy, but it's not nearly as bad as it used to be. I would get off that ride not being able to ride again. Every time I got off that ride, I could ride it again 2 or 3 more times. So
that's a compliment as a resort roller coaster.
Yeah, so it was real bad. Now it's still bumpy. It's still not as silky smooth as a B&M should be, but it's pretty good.
Do you think it's a third too long?
What do you mean?
I think that ride's a third too long.
You mean the back end?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll get to that in a second. So,
okay, continue.
The queue's is just so much nicer now. It's no longer this really crappy cement and television tubes kind of mess of a 90s. It's way sleeker. It looks much nicer. It's much cleaner. Because Doctor Doom gets this way too. It just feels grimy, and it doesn't feel... It feels very cement.
Six Flagsy.
Six Flagsy. It feels like they cheaped out on actually constructing walls, and they just did cement everywhere. This feels like it's very... it feels like an actual queue, and it feels... it stands up to the other queues in the... not just the land, not just the park, but the land. Because I consider Spider-Man's queue to be pretty good. So the queue's much better. The story's pretty much non-existent. That's a whole nother story for another time.
Well, that's not why you go ride one of the best roller coasters in the entire world.
True, but on the other hand, when you're waiting 75 minutes for a ride and there's absolutely no entertainment in the queue...
You like a little plot.
Exactly, and especially when you're not allowed to bring your cell phones on the ride.
Yeah, that's good. That's illegal.
So you're doing nothing. So... Yeah, it like everything's been pretty much distilled down to these few televisions at the load area. But anyway, so the new load area is badass. The trains are very similar to before. They still knock you around. The soundtrack was okay. So here's the problem I have with the soundtrack, is that the speakers are located in front of you, down and in front of you.
So they're not in the headrest like every other roller coaster with speakers?
So unlike Rock and Roller Coaster and unlike Space Mountain at Disneyland,
Rip Ride Rocket,
or I guess Rip Ride Rocket is up there, or Rip Ride Rocket, or California Screamin' even. No, yeah. I didn't mean to make that rhyme. The speakers are in front of you, like in that, you know how there's that well down there? They're right there.
Okay.
So it does not sound as good.
They got new trains, right?
They got new trains, and that's what I thought.
So they could have just said, hey, this is what roller coasters with sound sound like. Or because we're the people that made California Screamin' and Discovery Mountain. Like, we know how this works.
Well, no, that's two different companies. No, that's Vekoma made those two rides. This is B&M.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
trust me.
But
anyway,
speakers.
So the problem is that the sound system, like the song is okay. It was fine, but the sound, it's not as thumping as Rock and Roller Coaster or any other attraction. So they don't have a subwoofer under your seat, which sucks. They don't have the several speakers around your head so you hear everything great.
Did they yell Asta?
No, they don't. So
okay, less good.
Yeah, so that part of it is really disappointing. So there's that. It bangs you around a little bit, and also the back third, they've actually kind of decorated a little bit. They added vegetation, they added rock sculptures and sand, so they give it a nice kind of southwestern feel, like you're in the middle of a giant a military base in like New Mexico or something.
So it doesn't just feel like here's the back half of Port Adventure in 2001?
Yeah, it doesn't feel like you're going over some pavement and stuff. It feels like there's actual things there, so it's pretty nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the new lockers are awesome. They are amazing. All they are you need to scan your ticket, and it just pops open. So you don't have to. So you don't have to just use your finger. So you don't have like your kid doing it and then you try it, or you squish your finger way too hard.
No
on the locker.
passcodes.
No passcode. You don't need to remember your locker number.
So you just scan it.
Yep.
It opens. You scan it again and it opens.
Yep. Exactly.
Oh, that's so much better.
So that was really good. So that's Hulk. I mean, people are like I'm sorry, I'm stuttering, but the story was definitely cut back from what I understand. The queue experience was cut back. But what needed to happen was they needed to replace the track. Things were causing issues, I think. I'm not 100% sure on that. So they did that, and everyone's... it's a much better experience now, which is very good. I'm double-checking the Indian score, because last I saw it was 6-3.
Oh, I saw Mike make a sad emoji, so I would pass.
Yeah, well, I can't...
checking.
I can't find it right now, so...
I don't think you need to worry about it.
Yeah, I think it's still 6-3, so... Oh, boy. So the next one to talk about is Reign of Kong, real quick. So, I missed Reign of Kong by ever so slightly when I went down in the spring. So this is going to be this was my first time on Reign of Kong. So we waited about an hour my first ride through, and we did outside. The next time I waited about... well, I'll get to that in a second. The second time, waited about 30 minutes and did the outside, and then the next time I waited about 30 minutes and did the inside only, which was weird because it was raining. It wasn't raining or anything, so whatever. So Reign of Kong. The first things first is that I think the exterior of this attraction is amazing. It is so cool. It looks amazing. Having the vehicles go outside is badass. The fire everywhere and the plants, which are going to those plants are going to grow in near the track real well. And that's
going to glow in?
They're going to glow in too.
Okay.
Yeah, but they're going to look real nice once they grow in, and it's going to look real jungly, and it's going to be really, really cool in like 2 or 3 years. The exterior queue is exterior queue. It's pretty fine. It's better exterior queue than like many other attractions, so I can't complain that much. The interior queue. I've seen people compare that to Indiana Jones Adventure, and I don't think it's as good as Indiana Jones Adventure. There's a certain grandness and also diversity to the Indiana Jones Adventure queue that I don't get with Kong. It all seems like it has very similar height. It all seems very similar to me. And
you don't get that good, overwhelming Pirates feeling?
Yeah, you don't get that. I don't think the queue is as good as Forbidden Journey. I don't even know if it's as good as Spider-Man, frankly. I think it's
queue or ride?
The queue. I think the queue is good. It's just I think it was overhyped, I guess. The audio animatronic's cool. The one Musion effect you have is cool. The scare actor's cool. The other audio animatronic slug is cool. But besides that, there's a lot of blank walls or empty rooms and stuff, and it just is. I don't know. They could have done more. I feel like they could have put some educational stuff in there or made it more haunted, or I don't know. Now about the ride. So the first ride through, we were in the back row, and I was on the far right. The next one I was in the middle, and then the last one I was on like the far left of in the middle row, give or take.
Okay.
The edge rows, the edge seats of the attraction are really bad in that 360 room. Like, you can see the top and the bottom walls real bad, and you just don't feel immersed at all. So that's a real bummer. Real bad bummer. As for the middle, I think is absolutely fantastic. You get the good 3D effects. Everything looks good. It feels like you're actually swinging around. It's super cool. It's really thrilling. So I think the only way you can really ride it is the middle, which sucks because there's like 72 people in those vehicles or something crazy like that. And yeah, there's only maybe about 20 good seats or maybe 30 good seats in the whole ride. I like the outdoor portion. It's amazing. It's fantastic. It feels like Kilimanjaro Safaris, which is amazing. Which I think has always had a good feel to it. As for the audio animatronic, it's amazing. It's fantastic. People are like saying that you didn't get to see it enough. I thought you saw it plenty. That's just me, though. What do you think, Lane?
I haven't been on the ride.
You haven't been on Kong?
I haven't been to Universal in a while.
I thought you went in July.
I didn't get to go in July.
Oh, you didn't? I thought you did.
I didn't get to go in July, and I didn't get to go in October.
Oh, well, never mind then. Okay. So anyway, I think it's a good ride. I'm not sure if it's... I mean, it's hard to say because the issues that I raised before, like the viewing angles and some of the other stuff, but when you really think about it, you have the awesome outdoor portion, you have some of the really great sets, you have the 360 screens, you have the motion effects, and then you have the audio animatronic. I really do like the queue area, not the queue, the load area for the vehicles. That does give you that height, and a lot of it gives you the height, and also the ride vehicles just pull up, so that's super cool. And just like Kilimanjaro Safaris, the vehicle drivers themselves, people complained about them. I thought they looked good. I didn't have any issues with them. I thought they were fine. The exit is an exit, but yeah, I think Kong's a good solid addition.
Does it do its job of being Islands of Adventure's Haunted Mansion / Pirates?
No.
Because
it still has a height requirement, A. B, I feel like it needs another scene. To be a really long eat-her-up ride? I think it needs another scene. It needs another beat, a plot beat. Because what happens is, and this is the big problem when people say, oh, well, it felt so short. You spend like a good minute outside the ride, like outside you pulling out and getting into the show building. It's maybe about a minute, and then you're inside, and then you pull past the skeletons, and then you go past some audio animatronics and stuff. Once you're actually into the plot of the attraction, you're only in the plot for maybe about 2 or 3 minutes.
So it's more close to Jurassic Park at that park, where it's basically a shoot the shoots with one extra scene on it.
Sort of. I would actually compare it more to something like, I feel like Maelstrom in a way, kind of with pacing. It kind of opens up.
Maelstrom had pretty good pacing.
Oh no.
Well, it had weird pacing, but it was longer than what I like. It was longer than the Escape from Pompeii.
Oh yeah, well, Escape from Pompeii is like a U. So anyway, but then you get the 2 screens, you get the 360, and then you get Kong, and really all the plot and story happens in those 3 screens, and that doesn't last that long. And that's the problem, is like if you had another scene before the 360 tunnel, you could flesh out some of that plot real quick.
Just what I was hoping that the big bugs and big spiders would be.
Yeah, but they don't. So that's the problem.
Dang.
Otherwise, it's still a good ride. I mean, compared to the other,
but that is there hasn't been a modern theme park ride that has accomplished that long of a scene and scale. Like Racers is the only thing I can think of that's been that big and that epic, or that should have been that big and that epic. And Racers is like, scene, race, done. Or
yeah, but
scene,
you still
race, scene, done.
There's still plot though. Like you get the Mater thing. Like you're out. Actually, do you know what? I think that's a really good comparison. Let's compare it to Radiator Springs Racers real quick. Your outside portion, and that's
this is Parkscope exclusive.
Yeah, there you go.
Parkscope exclusive. This or that right now.
Yeah. So you drive past a bunch of exterior segments that are really impressive and cool. You get inside, and it's pretty okay.
2.5 show scenes, maybe 1.5.
Yeah, well, there's 4 show scenes inside Radiacon. Well, 5 show scenes inside the actual building. For Radiator Springs Racers, you got like 1, you get 3, 4
race.
No, 4. Then you got the well, here's what I'm counting. I'm counting the you get pulled over by the cop. Then you get Mater, the first part of Mater. Then you get
backup Mater.
Yeah, you get the first Mater, and then you get the turnover scene, and then the race outside of with the turbine. Then you have inside of Radiator. Then you have the inside of Radiator Springs, the city. Then you have the shop, whichever shop you get.
Yeah.
Then you have the part after that where the guy's on that turntable. And then you have the wait before the race. Make sense?
Yep.
So that's kind of how I'm counting it.
Okay.
I think Radiator Springs Race is a good comparison because it has some of the wonky pacing a little bit too. And it is kind of weird like that. But Radiator Springs Racers is way better because you have the race at the end. You move more. There's actual more, physical movement, which is
characters
nice.
Are more fun.
Yeah, exactly. So again, I don't think Kong's a bad ride at all. I haven't been on Maelstrom Frozen this year, so I can't even tell you if it's better than Frozen.
No, I assume it's much better.
I have no clue. But I'm taking. I would based on a rating of like 5 being Forbidden Journey and Spider-Man, and 1 being Sinbad, and Shrek, maybe. Probably just Sinbad, really. 1.
Okay.
I would probably give this maybe 3.5 stars. 3.5
Which
to 4
is
stars.
Exactly what I think they had it slotted in at, man.
Yeah, I think they were aiming a little higher.
That's all
if you're going
to
to spend
do.
that much money. But
it is a testament. I think it's a bigger testament that they spent that much money, time, and effort on a ride that's going to be a 20-year just people eater.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't going to get people to come down. I think that's a big testament to the Universal administrators we have right now, is that they're going to put that much time, effort, and money into doing something cool that isn't necessarily going to turn turnstiles, but keep the people that are there for Potter and how much fun your resort is around and fun. And keep those two having fun.
Well, and also remember that one of the big things for this attraction was, like, they had the water ride contingent there. You had so many, So they have so many. I'm sorry. I'm looking for the stupid score because I'm depressed. Actually, it's still
no. What happened was they took an empty plot of expansion land and they put a new ride in it. That's what we should be happy about.
Yeah. So what? Yeah, they didn't replace it into the existing ride. They built a new one.
Take anything away.
B, what they also did was they took an area that would close down if it rained, a massive swath of a park that would close down if it rained, and put an attraction in that works in the rain.
Yep, with an option to be even longer when it's not raining.
Yeah, so I think that's really good that happened, because the issue with Islands of Adventure and another issue I have with Universal is they tend to overreact when they have issues. So overreacting to, the Studios Park being so full of just massive e-tickets indoors. Was their thing would be, we're just going to have a bunch of water rides and outdoor small rides. And
we'll make a whole land of it. We'll make a second whole land of outdoor small rides.
Yeah, which is fine. And that's great because it's more, it adds a nice little balance. But the problem is then you have Doctor Doom, Hulk, you have Popeye, you have Dudley, you have Jurassic Park and Pterodon Flyers.
And most of Zeus.
And all closed down in the rain.
Yep.
Just on that side. So now you just have Spider-Man on that side that operates in the rain, but now you also have Kong. So you have Spider-Man, Kong, Forbidden Journey, Poseidon, maybe Sinbad, I forget, Cat in the Hat, and that's about it, really. Which is still not that many rides.
That was a park where more than half the capacity went down on a bad rainy day, which is awful in a place where it rains at 3 p.m. every day.
Yeah. So they fixed that, and that's a good thing.
Well, they made moves to even that park out.
Yes. So, anyway, that's my thoughts on Reign of Kong and Hulk and all the sadness that is Cleveland sports right now.
Islands of Adventure is doing the best it can do.
Yeah.
Much better than pre-2009. However, still not. I don't know. It's doing a pretty good job.
Yeah. So, anyway, I'm depressed. Cleveland's losing.
Let's close her up then.
Yeah, we should close it up. So, Sean...
Let's stitch this body of a podcast up.
Yeah. Sorry, I just bitched out Sean for complaining and be like, Cleveland just won. So, anyway. Lane, where can we find you online at?
At Parkscope Lane, at Parkscope Lane on Twitters, at Lane Nichols on Instagram. I'll be in Disneyland next weekend, and if we do a show next week, I will announce a Parkscope West Coast meetup. If we do not do a show, then there will not be a Parkscope West Coast meetup. I will be previewing my Singapore trip later this month. I talked to my friend Alan, everyone's friend Alan, about it, and it's going to be a good time. I get to go to Universal Studios Singapore.
Cool. And also, Alan's been doing some really good stuff on the website at parkscope.net.
Oh my goodness, our blog is getting fire.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. He's doing all the hidden themed attractions around these wonderful North American United States / Canadian providences.
Oh, Buffalo.
So, yeah, go check that out at parkscope.net. I don't know when Jeff's new article is going up, but if you haven't read his past few, whoo.
He's been writing, book quality articles.
Yes, he can do that.
Book or above book quality.
He is a professional writer. He is a professional writer. He can do that. So his last article, again, is a kind of a history of Animal Kingdom / the never-built Asian safari / a thesis statement on what works and what doesn't work in Animal Kingdom. I would highly recommend go read it. Save it to Instapaper or print it out or something because, man...
It's good.
It's a long read, but it's really, really good. I actually read that going down to Halloween Horror Nights a few weeks ago. On the plane? Yeah, on the plane. That's how long it is. So
awesome.
You can find all of us at parkscope.net. You can find me at Parkscope Joe on Twitter or Parkscope on Twitter also. Go to iTunes. Leave us a review. We haven't had any iTunes reviews in a while, and I'm sad because there's a bunch of people saying how we suck on there, and I don't think
that just means we're going to have a 2017 contest for iTunes reviews.
There you go. Yeah, we should probably do that. But yeah, so go leave us a iTunes review. Also, we've moved all of our hosting over to Simplecast for the podcast. So we also have a Simplecast site at, I believe it's parkscope.simplecast.fm. So let me make sure I get that right. Parkscope.simplecast. Yeah, simplecast.fm. That's where you can find all the old episodes, along with subscribing to us on RSS and finding us on Twitter and all that fun jazz. So
RSS.
Yeah, woo. So Lane, do you want to lead us out?
Love everybody, hate everything. Congo Loosh.
There we go.